12 years. Why are you doing it?
Because God's children are not for sale.
From a hero that was willing to risk his own life to diving into the heart of darkness.
How'd that make you feel? Giving a child his freedom.
Felt good.
You're literally contributing to the destruction of a child's life, body, heart, mind, soul.
All that hard work, and you actually make that rescue. What is that moment like?
These operations are dangerous. Many people almost die several times. You don't know how many you're going to rescue. It doesn't really matter, even if it's just one.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
Welcome to Shalom World's Beyond the Vision, a show that features faith-based film and television. I'm your host, Joelle Maryn, and today we are on the red carpet of the new film, Sound of Freedom from Angel Studios.
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
When God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate.
Guys, this is a very, very special film. It's based on a true story of Tim Ballard, who created Operation Underground Railroad to save children from sex trafficking. This film keeps you on the edge of your seat, and you will not want to miss this. And on the red carpet tonight is going to be a ton of cast and crew. Oh, I hear the sound of freedom.
You have been at this for 12 years. Why are you doing it?
Because God's children are not for sale.
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
We're Homeland Security. You know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
This job tears you to pieces, and this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
It's over, Tim. Come back home.
So you quit your job and you go and rescue those kids.
I'm sorry, man. She's gone.
What if this was your daughter?
Hear that? That's the sound of freedom.
Mira, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
It's just an absolutely beautiful film. It's going to touch so many hearts, I believe, save so many children. What was your reaction when you first got the script?
I already was very embedded in the topic. You know, I've already met so many child trafficking survivors over the years in different countries, in Mexico and Cambodia and Thailand and Spain and in the U.S. And their stories are all unique, but all share this common heartbreaking, incredibly dark experience, this trauma that shouldn't ever be visited on anyone. And yet little children are enduring this right now to the tune of 2 million child victims in the world today.
What was it like preparing for that role?
I mean, I spoke to Tim, and, you know, a lot of the stuff that he said to the audience last night about Catherine being his inspiration, you know, really giving him this kind of moral, like, do or die. God has shown you that you could help these children. You can't actually turn back now. We as a family are going to face this together, and we're going to sacrifice whatever it takes in order to be able to help these kids. I believe I talked to Catherine on the phone as well about it, but I definitely talked to Tim, and I only met her in person last night.
As far as the filming goes, do you have any favorite on-set memories?
My personal favorite was having my son Johnny in the kitchen scene, because he was like 13, and he came with me to Colombia for the experience, and he's there, you know, picking up another sibling and passing, you know, milk and stuff, and just having him as a part of it was very special to me.
Well, thank you so much, Mira, for being with us today and the work that you're doing. God bless you.
Sure, God bless you too. And I do hope that people come away with this with a sort of a call to action, not just awareness, because awareness without action is a little bit hollow. So once your heart is moved when you see this and you care about those children, please go out and find the local organizations that exist everywhere around the world and say, I want to help. How can I help? I've got language skills. I've got money. I've got time. You know, I can accompany these survivors as they go to a doctor's appointment, or I can lobby my local government to tighten laws against traffickers and ease laws against, provide more help to people who have exited trafficking and need help, and please, please, please stop buying commercial sex because you're creating a marketplace for trafficked human beings. If commercial sex didn't exist, people wouldn't be trafficked for it. It's, there's a marketplace. So every time you buy sex, you're telling a trafficker there is a demand that I'm going to fulfill with enslaved people rather than free market people. And also support something called the Nordic model, which is operative in Norway, Sweden. I think France has adopted it. It's basically a legal system where the person whose body is being exploited is not criminalized, but you criminalize the seller and the buyer. And even if there's no official seller, if there's no official pimp, you still criminalize the buyer. And it has a chilling effect on the rate of people buying trafficked sex or buying sex at all. And in Norway, apparently it has led to a big decrease in young men buying sex because they think of it as not the way to be a strong, admirable man, that they have this self-respect, that they don't exploit or hurt people. Yeah. And do not watch online child sexual abuse material. We don't call it child porn, we call it online child sexual abuse material. Yeah. You're literally contributing to the destruction of a child's life, body, heart, mind, soul. So, just get involved. There are so many ways to get involved. There are so many local organizations that are doing the great work. Join them, raise your voices, and tell your governments, we do not tolerate child sexual slavery on our watch anymore. We do not tolerate any human trafficking on our watch. Our anti-trafficking efforts are not complete until we've reached the last girl in the filthiest brothel in the darkest room who's waiting there for us to help her be liberated. Yeah. So we really have an enormous task ahead of us. It can be done if every person is moved and says, I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to I'm going to be an abolitionist. I'm going to say slavery no more in our time. Yeah. But everybody has to do it. We can't sit silently and be like, oh, now I know. Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm so moved. Yeah. No, take that heart call and do something.
Well, thank you. I'm just so impressed. All these people and all these ways.
This is like a huge part of my life. It's been like my second career, my second unpaid career.
But isn't that beautiful how you put your passion and then it actually got into a project to use another one of your talents, So obviously you're a great spokesperson. You are so connected, to the passion behind this, which is beautiful. And then God was like, here's a role, Mira, for you to do. And let me put your faith into action, through your talent. So thank you for all that you do. God bless you on behalf of Shalom World.
Thank you.
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's going to pass the drug trade. Because you can sell a bag of cocaine one time to a child 5 to 10 times a day.
So you thought of that? Of doing it on your own?
I won't be on my own. I just have to convince Pablo.
Okay. So, you quit your job, and you go and rescue those kids.
So why is this film so important, especially at this point in history?
The reason this film is so important, so vital, is it's one of those movements that we believe has the potential to bring awareness and help solve this problem throughout the world. And it truly is like Jim Caviezel said one time. I loved his statement. He said, "Imagine making Schindler's List during World War II." Right? That would have been a very, very because everybody would be like, "Whoa, what?" And that's what this is. This is Sound of Freedom. This is all happening right now, and it's time to solve it.
My country, 'tis of thee.
Why are you doing it?
Because God's children are not for sale. It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
I want to talk about the title for a minute, Sound of Freedom. It's a very important title. What is the Sound of Freedom?
So the Sound of Freedom was born from the actual rescue operation that's depicted in the film. So in the film, there's a point where Bill Camp is talking to Jim Caviezel, who plays me, and he says to him, "Do you hear that? That's the sound of freedom." And that's taken from a real thing that happened right after the rescue operation
that happened on October 11th, 2014, one of the operators said to me, the kids were happy and they're screaming in a good way and singing. And he said, "Do you hear that?" He was crying, and he grabbed my shoulder. He's like, "That's the sound of freedom."
Hear that? That's the sound of freedom.
This film is truly, I believe, epic. I think a lot of us, we've heard about child trafficking. We have an image in our mind, and we know it's a horrible thing. But to see it depicted in such detail really stirs the heart in a new way. I can only imagine what the writing process was like. Can you share a little bit more about that, and how long did it take to write this script?
You said it, an epic journey, you know, an odyssey from a hero that was willing to risk his own life to dive into the heart of darkness. But the film also, you know, explores the hope in this darkness, reminds the audience constantly that light would always pierce that darkness. And that's why the lighting in the film is so stylized. Yeah. Because I wanted to remind the audience constantly about that hope, but I also wanted to remind the audience through the style of the narrative on the film that they're watching a movie, so they can continue to digest it. And, you know, even though it's a dark subject matter, but to enjoy, because at the end it's a movie that is based on a true story, but it's still has the magic of cinema is to be enjoyed.
What are you hoping that audiences feel, think, and actually do after watching the film?
Well, for me, I like to make movies that begin when the movie ends. And if this movie leaves the audience in a state of reflection and aware about this darkness, that's the hope, that when they leave the theater, they start creating an awareness, because awareness creates change. And that people, you know, spread the word. This is a problem that could only get resolved if we all come together. Yeah. You know, I know we live in times of division, but we should be united on this particular theme. I mean, just talking about it, it's lighting that candle, you know? Because we can curse and complain about darkness all day long, but that's not gonna create change. Yeah. But lighting a little candle, that's when the change happens.
Yeah, and there's a quote at the end of the film about the storyteller is the most powerful person. And so you started the story, you know, and it's Tim's story, and now it becomes everyone's story. It's all of our stories when we begin to tell it and share it. Yes. And
the film, like you say, it's becoming a movement. Yeah. And it's just very exciting to actually see that happen. Obviously, we dream for that to happen, but now it's like I get the opportunity to see it unfold. Yeah. And I start to see people coming together, and the movement to fight child trafficking it's happening. So
yeah, and that gives work, you know, and purpose gives purpose to all that hard work that went into this. So thank you again on behalf of Shalom World TV. God bless.
Plus 5 support agents for a month in country, the penthouse in Bogota, the mansion in Cartagena, on, and yet somehow you have failed to bring me one real-world lead. Or one American child, or one American trafficker. One reason D.C. would let you within 1 million miles of it. Glamour shots of Miss Cartagena don't count.
She has the girl.
And I say the girl's in Russia. Prove me wrong. It's over, Tim. Close up. Get on a plane and come back home.
How long you been doing this?
12 years now.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? ¿Puedes ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana?
Te lo prometo.
For Homeland Security, you know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
Which means she'll disappear for good.
We felt like July 4th was the perfect way to take this from like a difficult topic to a triumphant story. Because the 4th of July represents a time period where people took action. And so if we say, let's take action for kids, that will help. But in addition, we learned since that one of the victims in the film, that's represented in the film, was actually in real life rescued on July 4th. So it fits really well. But that was after we decided. But yeah, so it fits really well.
My country, 'tis of thee.
What if this was your daughter?
So, she's gone.
There's this like pay it forward program, and you're trying to get 2 million tickets for the 2 million traffickers. Can you share a little bit more about the program and how people can pay it forward?
So tens of thousands of people have gone and they have paid for other people to watch the movie. So if you don't have enough money, or you wouldn't watch the movie otherwise, they're saying, take my tickets and you can go to the movie for free. And so if anybody goes to angel.com/free tickets, they can get free tickets for themselves. And there are so many of them available. And every day there's more of them. And every day there's new people picking up free tickets. And so it's like pay it forward at a Starbucks or whatever. Kind of same idea, but with movie tickets.
Can you share what made you get involved in this film and what stirred your heart to make it?
Absolutely. It was definitely when we heard Tim Ballard share what was going on about, trafficking, the stats, and how it was affecting young children. I mean, everyone has heard about human trafficking in a certain way, but I think very few of us know the depths and, the numbers that, would just make you change your mind about the whole topic and want to do something about it. So for us filmmakers, we wanted to use our platform to try to shine a light on this darkness. We like to think that there's films that you want to do and films that you're called to do. And this was one that definitely we were called to do. I mean, I'm a father of 5 myself. And when I heard, that this was something that was affecting 3, 4, 5-year-olds and something that was happening in our own backyards, I mean, this is not something that's only happening abroad in developing nations. It's happening here in our own country. And the only way that we can put a stop to it is for everyone to raise their voice and to use their platforms and their talents to try to make a difference.
Did you know there were over 22 million new images of child pornography on the web this past year? That's a 5,000% increase over the past 5 years. 5,000%. The fact is, it is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen.
I agreed to it because we were working with the U.S. government.
Back out now, this whole thing will blow.
It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's gonna pass the drug trade. And you wanna know why? Because you can sell a bag of cocaine one time, but a child, the most precious child, you can sell a 5-year-old kid 5 to 10 times a day for 10 years straight. And everyday ordinary people, they don't want to hear it. It's too ugly for polite conversation. But meanwhile, over 2 million children a year are being sucked into the deepest recesses of hell. Trust me, man. If we do nothing, their pain is gonna spread and spread. So someday it's gonna reach the likes of you. And that will be a nightmare you're never gonna wake up from.
This movie is so moving, very emotional, and I'm sure very emotional for you to even see it actually finally happen. Can you share what keeps you going in this mission? And also, there's a scene where one child helps you find another and gives tips. How does that process work?
What keeps me going is just having the experience of watching a child be liberated. And the piece of the movie that they couldn't tell was I was actually going back between Colombia and Haiti there was an operation simultaneously happening in Haiti that was also driven by the same, hey, come home, you can't finish it. So we rescued 28 children from that, and we adopted 2 of those kids. And they've been home for 4 years. And if you need motivation for why it's worth it, these happy kids who would probably be dead or trafficked by now, and here they're living a beautiful life, that keeps me motivated. And to answer your second question, yes, multiple times. Every time you get a kid, you want to do your best. Be carefully, you have forensic interviewers, but they have intel. They have intel, and in the case of this little boy at the border, absolutely, that's a true story. The necklace is a real. He gave me the necklace is real.
Yes, I was going to ask that really happened. Can you share about that scene about the necklace?
Yeah, so we were talking to him, and he had this necklace that his sister had given him, and he gave it to me. I don't know why. I said, oh, he's like, no, he was insisting, but I don't know if an angel was talking to him, knowing that I needed it now because he was rescued and I needed it for other kids. I don't know, but it was beautiful, and it wasn't until a few days later that one of my own children saw the name. That's actually the scripture, 1 Timothy 6:11. The only difference is the kids never took the necklace back. I still have it.
You do?
Yeah, I still have that necklace. So, and in fact, the little boy did give us information that led to the rescue of his sister and others. So, and that does happen. That does happen frequently.
Yeah, it's like your name was on the mission.
Exactly.
Like God is saying, your name is on this, keep on going. And maybe even in moments of doubt and fear where you think like, are we going to get the next child and the next, group, you can just kind of hold that necklace in your hands and say, this is real.
I do. Real. It's a tangible reminder, a symbol of something real that I think God blessed me with to help me.
Yeah, and I think sometimes in the movie world, and the media and all this is like, it just seems like it's just a story or just a media. This is real. This is a true story. This is still going on. And I do think this is going to be a huge movement to save a lot of children. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We hope so. I've never seen a piece of media that does the job of telling the story in a way that's digestible, that keeps your attention, and it teaches you what it is and lets you leave inspired to do something.
Yeah.
So,
and it's brilliantly shot, because it could have went into, graphic detail of things that we can't even stomach. But it's in a way where, like, we could put 2 and 2 together and realize, like, this is really, really serious. We need to do something about this. And I've heard you say before, like, we need to get loud. Yes. We need to get really loud and spread the word and help save these children.
That's right.
Thank you so much on behalf of Shalom World
for
being with us. God bless you.
Okay, everybody, come on. Gotta clear your plates now. We're gonna be late. Let's go. Come on. I think people need to watch this movie to have their hearts moved so that they can become part of the solution. Because I think if everyone really, really looked it in the face and understood what was happening, we'd have a far faster response to this insurgence in the occurrence of global slavery, and we'd be able to combat it more effectively if people didn't think of it as something fringe, something happening not around them. It's happening everywhere. It's happening here in Utah, in California, New York, Mexico, China, England, Spain, everywhere in the world has human trafficking, and everywhere in the world has sex trafficking, and everywhere around the world has child sex trafficking, which is, as I said, the most egregious. And I've seen people doing wonders on this topic, and obviously Tim Ballard does incredible things. You have to get to prevention, though. It can't just be finding kids after they've been raped and trying to help them rebuild their lives, which is very important, but you have to get to the place where this isn't happening at all in the first place.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Caviezel, and I'm grateful to God for the good work everyone at Shalom World TV is doing to shine a light on child exploitation by supporting my latest film, The Sound of Freedom, in theaters this July. This is the second most important film of my entire career, and I hope you will join me beginning 4th of July, that's right, by giving our children back their freedom on our Day of Independence.
Thank you so much for watching Shalom World's Beyond the Vision. Guys, you need to run out and see this film. Run, don't walk. And this is something we need to start getting really loud about. We need to realize that this is going on, make a noise, help bring awareness to it, and save these children. We need to make the sound of freedom continue to happen and ring over and over and over again I hope to see you all again real soon. God be with you. Shalom.
She's just Miranda's age.
Imagine walking into her room right now, seeing an empty bed. What will we do?